Assalamu alaikum, Nizar bhai, your voice is not audible. Nizar bhai, no, Nizar bhai.
I hope I'm audible now.
Yes, clear. You can make it full screen.
Jazakallah
Your
khair,
screen.
Brother Saad, for yeah. Okay, we all know that youth have a very important role to play in this world, and in order to make sure that we give them the best of benefits, we have opened this Self-Help for Youth online platform so that we help them with an objective to connect, learn, grow, and contribute back to the society. We want their talents to be synergized by the experts in the industry. We have three different platforms which help uh, improve their caliber, improve their capacity. Those three main focused areas are Islamic knowledge and personality development and employability and entrepreneurship skills. Okay, this digital workshop is a unique webinar series of which 6 weeks have been completely done. And today we are running the seventh week of uh, artificial intelligence. And the reason for bringing this digital literacy workshop is to create awareness among students and professionals to cope up with the latest trending technologies. Many areas have been covered, like Python, data science and technological trend, IoT and robotics, social media, productivity, saving yourselves from criminal um, uh, cyber crimes, cyber criminal aspects, virtual management tools like office management tools, and also visual communication aspects. Today we have something from artificial intelligence. Not to forget, we want all of you to participate in the quizzes after the session today. So we would love to take you through the quizzes so that you can win 10,000 rupees worth of prize. First prize being two pieces to be won, that is JBL branded Bluetooth speaker. Second prize, branded LI polymer power bank, two pieces to be won. Third prize, both rockers Bluetooth neckband with mic, four pieces to be won. Fourth prize, 16 GB on-the-go mobile pen drive, 5 pieces to be won. Not to forget, we would also love to tell you that we are being sponsored for such enormous activities by professional couriers. We all have heard a lot about them. One of the massive courier client, which helps in ensuring that your content, your parcels, your couriers reach your customers, your designed desired addresses on time. They have more than 33 years of expertise, and they have exclusive and largest network in courier within India as well as abroad. The company operates primarily within India, but internationally also it serves well. If you would like to reach your people, you can always reach out to them. We also have one more partner in sponsoring this program. This is from Repute Packaged Drinking Water. We all know that in cities like Metro, Chennai, and Hyderabad, we have this brand known for packaged drinking water. Repute has its own trained workers and fleet of vehicles and people to carry out the distribution process within the stipulated time without additional cost. And we know that the quality is very good, and the purification process involves 8 stages, which ensures expected effect of pure and natural water. We have associate partners like IT Expert Training and IT Expert Academy. They both are having more than 10 years of expertise, industry trainers, and they are one-stop online hub for learning trending technologies. Their focus is highly on career-oriented programs, and they charge you with nominal fee for high-end training programs. We must have definitely been heard of Association of Muslim Educational Institutions and Association of Tamil Nadu, OMIAT, that plays a very important role in extending financial assistance to deserving and poor students. Not only that, their other activities of the trust are as providing coachings for all India entrance examinations to gain admission in many prestigious institutions like IIT, NIT, and other institutions. Also, coach civil service like IAS exams and help students get meritorious positions. Global Tamil Muslim Media is our associate channel partner. It is located in the USA, and the intention behind this initiative is to connect every community of Tamil Muslim across the globe, bring their local talents, showcase them, empower women, guide and groom our young and next generation people in the field of education, management, social services, and beyond. If you have something of this sort, and it is halal, and in an Islamic perspective, topics like religion, culture, politics, food, civic engagement, social justice, and so on, you can very well get in touch with them and they will help you to do the propaganda. Diginur is our global business development and marketing agency. We would love to ensure that you have a talk with them for all your benefits in order to create and digitize your content and give productive results. Next speaker, Bashir Ahmed. He is by education, he has done his electronics and communication engineering, but by profession, he is a systems architect. He is a polyglot programmer, which means he is multi language expert. He's not one, but many, poly. And he's got proficiency in many languages like Java, Python, Ruby, with remarkable 30 years of experience in software and development. While he proves his career with some of his best technology companies like Mission, Symantec, HRE Global, Yala, and Freshworks, he has played various roles like application security expert and ML practitioner. Architected, designed, and developed secure and highly scalable applications running in public cloud platforms like Amazon Web Services and Global Cloud Platform. Engaged as a professional trainer, have conducted various training and workshops in trending technologies like Java, Python, big data, application security, machine learning, and data science. In his free time, he loves to read books, and at present, he is reading Start With Why by the author Simon Sinek. Brother, over to you. Please start your session. Jazakallah khair.
Thank you so much, Nisar, brother Nisar, and to the Shaifi team to invite me to this much enriched, youth enriched program. Thank you. And I thank all the participants, and I would like to greet them. May peace, blessings, and mercy of Almighty be upon all of us. I'm so delighted to be here and to present in front of you, especially the youth generation. And I'm so delighted to be part of this Shaifi. So it's it's one of the best opportunity that I have received to present in front of youth and talk and share my knowledge and also to learn from you guys. So I'm sure you guys might have already attended a couple of sessions around these topics like data science, Python, IoT, etc. So here is a day of artificial intelligence. I know you guys might be so overwhelmed to know what is that this next 1 hour is going to be. So here it is. So we will be covering up the power of AI and artificial intelligence based solutions in various business domains. What is the connectivity between data and AI? What are the future researches happening in AI? Are there any limitations? If so, how is that the human could tap those limitations and try to excel or try to overtake AI in those areas, and how to pursue a good career in AI if at all you guys are interested. Okay. Having said that, I'm going to share you a quick small story, a story of you and me, where every day you wake up in the morning and unlock your phone and checks immediately your WhatsApp and emails. And after going through your WhatsApp and emails, you find that a couple of emails are not useful to you and you go ahead and delete them. And then after completing our official emails and other things, we have some time to look at our Facebook and social media. We go through that, we check few videos, we get some video recommendations, we like them, we share them, and then also we get few friend suggestions, and we feel interested because we know that he is a friend of friend, and he is my long school friend and college friend, and you go and send a friend request or accept few friend requests. While you are surfing in your social media, suddenly an ad pops up, and you see that there is an ad which is relevant to the product that you are interested in, and you have been searching them, and then immediately you click on and it takes you to the respective e-commerce, and there you proceed to check out. While you are going to check out, you see few suggestions. Those suggestions are also valuable for you, and you have been looking and you are absolutely interested to choose them as well as part of your card, and you add them into the card. You purchase them via debit or credit because nobody wants to go with a different payment options at this point of time. And then after your breakfast, and when you're ready to go to your office, I know many people travel by their own car, but people who likes to travel hassle free and read while you're traveling and be tensionless travel, you book Uber or Ola or any other car providers, and you book them and you reach the office on time. This is the end of the story, and more than a story, it looks like this is what you and I do on a daily basis. So what is that so special about this? If you look at this, this is our daily routine that we are trying to do on a day-to-day basis. However, just one moment. Okay, if you look at it, this is what you and I do on a daily basis, and we try to do all these things. But I want to give you one thing, that when you are involved in all of these, you are somehow being touched by AI in your day-to-day life. You are being touched by AI in your day-to-day life. If this is your day-to-day life, you are being touched by your day-to-day life. Starting from when you take your phone to unlock. When you unlock, nowadays the new mechanism of unlocking a phone is via facial recognition, And facial recognition is not exactly the image to image comparison. It's a recognition pattern based on your skin, based on your eyes, based on your nose, your eyelids, and your skin impressions and everything. And your phone unlocks by seeing your face. And nowadays, every phone, every smartphone has that capability where you can unlock without touching. And then you go and read your emails and delete some of the unwanted emails. Of course, you might have seen a lot of emails, your spam box. Who sends them to spam? How does Google or Yahoo or Outlook knows to send them to spam? And the most powerful, one of the most powerful spam AI assistants available in the market is from Gmail, and Gmail figures out all your spam emails and put them on spam. This is an AI driven spam recognition. It figures out based on the message, based on the content, based on the people observation, how they are frequently deleting similar messages, and it does. And when you go and check your Facebook, you're being touched again, where you get few recommendations of videos as well as friend recommendations. How does Facebook provides you friend recommendations? How are you getting a meaningful recommendations? Here again, AI plays a vital role where it is helping you to give you the right friend matches whom you will likely wanted to be a friend with. And then when you are surfing, you get an ad, and you precisely get an ad which you are very interested in. You get a product which you are very interested in. And that is again an AI driven recommendation systems, AI driven suggestion systems that it provides. And then when you want to check out products in the Amazon or in other e-commerce sites, you again see a lot of recommendations. Those are again AI driven. And then when you go and purchase via debit card and credit card, their AI stands and defends you from any fraudulent transactions happening. It figures out whether the transaction is the right transaction. Is it a transaction being done by the right person at the right time? It has a logic by which it can figure out that the transaction is valid or not, again in AI driven. And after your breakfast, when you book a car and when you're about to reach your office, when you use Uber tells you who is nearer to you. It allocates you the nearest person, again AI driven. It tells you how much amount you will be paying, AI driven. It tells you when you will reach the office, AI driven. This is all a day-to-day life where AI touches us on a daily basis. Now, having understood that the AI is already part and parcel of our life, let's try to understand what AI is. So artificial intelligence on a nutshell, this is what it is. It is not something which was born last year or 10 years before. It was born on 1950s, and it took a slow evolution. And then on 1980s, a term of machine learning came in, and it really boosted AI to come fast. And then a deep learning invention in 2010s is helping, and now it is booming like anything, and AI is touching us on a day-to-day life. So if you look at it, I want to give you an example what AI is all about. There are a lot of definitions, there are a lot of bookish and scholarly definitions available on what AI is all about, but I want to give you a quick mind map or quick analogy by which you can understand is, think about a child. When a child is born, you tell them and you tell the child that, hey, when you are going to become young, you should become a doctor. And the child gets that perception and says that, yes, I want to become a doctor, but he's not yet a doctor. He is thinking of himself as going to be a doctor after 20 years or after 25 years. So with the same intent, he joins the school. With the same intent, he grows. And when he's about to choose his higher secondary subjects, he chooses accordingly for his doctorate. And then he completes his higher secondary and work hard, and then hits the college. And only now he is actually studying, which is needed for him to be a medicinal professional ready. But however, this journey that he has taken is also important, which you cannot discount saying that this is not important. Likewise, AI was a research field in 1950s, and at that point of time, they brought this with the intent that there is going to be an artificial intelligence that we want to bring in, which will somehow act like a human in certain areas. And artificial intelligence will be brought into the world, which will help the human race to be better than what they are doing today. Which means they want to bring in an alternate eyes, they wanted to bring in an alternate ears, they wanted to bring in alternate thinking capacity, so that which helps the human race to do some of the things better, some of the things faster than the human, and help the human to do it better. This is our overall. If you want a definition, I could say AI is a research field which intends to build an ability to the machines or ability to the computers so that it can also start thinking, it can also start seeing, it can also start reasoning, it can also start speaking. AI is a research field. It is still under research, but now that lot of products have came out with the successful invent of deep learning, neural networks, machine learning, algorithms, and with the invent of big data systems and a lot of things. We are going to talk about all these. Don't worry if you're not understanding certain jargons that I'm throwing around. So AI is not a very latest field. It is a field which got started in 1950s, and slowly as the child was evolving and evolving and evolving, and after 25, 30 years, it becomes a doctor. Likewise, an AI is now trying to be after the invent and after the availability of deep learning algorithms. Having clarified this, so let's try to understand certain benefits of AI. AI is a purpose of next generation workplace. AI is going to give more additional hands for us. AI is going to give more additional eyes for us. It includes seamless integration between enterprise and individuals. Human resources are not made obsolete, but rather their efforts are reinforced with this emerging technology. AI is really going to provide organizations with a lot of luxury of freeing up the humans with very mundane tasks, but now the human has to think and spend on very valuable, creative, innovative problems rather than the mundane tasks. AI can reduce the time taken to perform a task. It enables multitasking. AI can compete with the human in routine and automatable jobs. AI helps you to have a cognitive thinking to the computer. Cognitive means you remember, you memorize, you bring it out, you keep them, you calculate, you manipulate, you speech, you understand what the opposite person is speaking. Likewise, computers can also take cognitive decisions and take the right decision after having perceived what the opposite person is doing. AI augments the capability of differently abled individuals. I think we might have seen a lot of AI improvements coming around this very specific area where differently abled people are being helped by AI to walk, to learn, to see, and to hear. There is a mass market, of course. So, having said that, but nowadays, wherever you go, AI, and there is, of course, there is a confusion in amongst youngsters, students, as well as professionals. What is AI? What is ML? And what is data science? Because I'm sure you might have studied data science with Python, etc., and you might have heard about machine learning. So what is this AI? AI is a much broader research field which tends to bring in an artificial intelligence to the world, which is going to bring a lot of new eyes, new ears, new human kind of capability, which can do some of the mundane, repeatable, automatable tasks that humans are good at doing but prone to errors. But machines are lesser prone to errors. We all know that human is the smartest but slowest performing entity in the world. Likewise, computers are the dumbest but the fastest performing machines in the world. So how can we connect them? How can we have the brain of a human and power of a computer do it faster and combine it? Still we are at a baby steps. Still we are crawling in certain areas. Still we are taking baby footsteps in certain areas of research. However, the entire research is happening to make a better tomorrow for all of us. Now that we talked about AI, we have understood that AI is a research field and etc. So what is this machine learning is all about? Here is again another a simple way to understand a machine learning. This is a kid, a small baby. We all know the baby tries to learn new things. Though they go to school to study specific subjects, but it is not the only schools where they learn on day-to-day life. They learn on every perception they see on an object. So just see how a baby is being taught to know what is an apple. You show this to a baby and say this is an apple. You show a different apple to the baby and say this is another apple, and you show a different form of an apple, because apples are available in various hybrids, and you show them this apple. And then you show them this and say this is banana, and you show them the other hybrid of banana, and the other hybrid of banana. And then later when you ask a question to the baby, it still recognizes and says, based on the shape and other activity, it looks like a banana but with the color of an apple. But humans tends to learn like this. Now replacing this baby, so what happened here? A kind of a supervision happened manually, where you are teaching a kid or a baby, showing each and every object and helping them to recognize what that object is and what those objects are going to do. Likewise, this is a baby learning, and here the same analogy using machine. And this is a machine learning. When you replace a baby and when you use the machines to learn themselves and feed them saying, hey, this red color object with this thickness and with this kind of circumference is an apple, and this is another apple, and this is another apple, and this is banana, banana, banana. And when you teach machines by showing them multiple things and tell them to learn from it, machines tend to learn. It is not easy as what I said. Machines cannot learn by themselves. So there was a detailed research that happens in the area of machine learning. The scientists around those subjects build algorithms, build intuitive models, build models and algorithms which can learn from the demographic structures of an object, which can learn from the numbers, which can try to figure out the patterns around the numbers and remember certain things and figure out the patterns, etc. This is a very detailed study. When you are going to pursue, you will try to learn all of them. But here, with the interest of the audience, what I am trying to convey is machine learning is similar to baby learning, where you have to show them and tell them the answer, show them and tell them the answer, and then eventually the baby learns. Likewise, the machine learns eventually when you give them enough information. Okay. So how different it is from a traditional programming versus machine learning? We have been using programming. We all know that I can program machine to do certain decisions. You could very well argue at any point of time and say, hey guys, machines are already doing a lot of decisions. Machines are taking a decision on whether to give a loan to this guy or not. Machines are taking a decision on whether this guy is admissible in this position or not. In certain areas, machines are taking decision that whatever payment I am doing is valid or not. You could very well argue that machines are already doing these things. But how it used to happen is, you have to give the input and you have to write the program. If you look at the upper box, you have to give the input, you have to write the rules, you have to define the program, you have to write code, and you have to explain and set all the boundaries, saying if this happens, you have to do this. If that happens, you have to do that. If this is going to happen, you have to persist, you have to neglect, you have to deny, and you get the response. But this is a traditional programming model. Whereas the AI and machine learning way of learning is, they say, don't program, right? Give the input, give the output, which means give me the historical data and tell me what those data is about. Give me historical data of what happened in the medical industry of in the research of cancer. Tell me, give me all the pictures of tumorous cancers, and tell me of what level it is based on the historical record. Feed into the machines, let the machine figure out the patterns, let the neural network form the neural networks, let the machine learning do all the magic behind, and finally it will come up and at one day and it will tell you, the machine learning algorithm becomes a model, and it says, I am ready, now I am ready to predict the new output, or now I am ready to tell you new solutions. Which means you can give me any new photo, I can tell you whether that photo is a tumorous photo, and if it is tumorous, up to what level it is. Okay. having understood that data AI is touching our life on a day-to-day basis, and having understood the power and having understood few definitions and connectivity between AI and machine learning, AI is possible, and AI is possible at a fast pace because of the availability of machine learning and deep learning and neural networks. And data science is something which got coined very recently. In 1990s, there was no term data science. In 2000, there was no data science. In 2010, and in the end of 2000, like 11 and 12 and 13, that's when the term was coined, data science, and the new designation called data scientist was coined. It was a fancy, it was a very attractive title that was brought in to tell that anything that you deal with the data, you know what. Now everybody knows that if you want to be an AI, or if you want to build an AI intelligent systems, whether it is in the finance industry or in the healthcare or in the pharmaceutical, in the government, transport, internet security, oil and gas, and whatnot. In any of these domains, if you want to build an AI based solution or a system which is going to help you solve customer problems, you very strictly need a data. And you need scientists who can cleanse this data, who can structure this data, who can remove the noises from this data, who can make this data ready to be fed into the available algorithms, to available neural networks, to available well proven algorithms. To do that, we need data science. So data science is a combination. If you look at it, I'm sure that in the earlier session, where in earlier session which was scheduled by Shaifi, I'm sure that they would have scheduled, and the speaker would have really covered about the data science aspect. And just to revise, data science is a combination between data understanding, statistics, programming, computer science, and a business aspect. If you combine all of this, that is what you call it as data science. So data science is not a technology. Data science is not a research field. Rather, data science is a designation, and it's a combination of multiple things a person does around the data to make machines learn. Okay, these are the domains where AI and data science have penetrated, primarily on finance, healthcare, pharmaceuticals, government, manufacturing, retail, transportation, utilities, space, web industry, e-commerce, and many others. I might be missing some of them. You guys might be knowing some of them, which I have not covered. Okay. Let me talk about some of the real cases. We all know Twitter. We know Twitter is it's a very good platform to share short messages amongst the entire subscribers who are listening to, who are following you. I think a lot of official information flows through Twitter. A lot of official pages, a lot of government authorities are in Twitter. They give short messages, they give videos, they share their information. At the same time, Twitter have been experiencing a lot of hate speeches, terrorism speeches, terrorism provoking speeches in the Twitter. So Twitter wanted to identify and stop that. But can you imagine? Can you imagine the volume of Twitter? Can you imagine the volume of data that flows into the Twitter at every second? It is of course going to be at the speed of terabytes and petabytes. And if that is going to be the volume, is that possible for a Twitter team to figure out the hate speeches by having a manual operator sitting and reading each and every speech, each and every tweet? Of course not. There, that is where the same thing that can be done by a human will be done by AI at a speed. The same thing, a human can sit down and read all the hate speeches and can easily figure out that amongst these 50 odd tweets, two tweets are hate speeches and two of them are terrorism provoking, or a kind of a communal disagreement, and a lot of things that can provoke. So Twitter used an AI driven system. How they did? They already have a lot of tweets. They already have a lot of information with them. They classified them. They mark them as good and bad. They mark them as hate speech and terrorism speech. This is the only work that they did. And after having cleansed that information, they fed into AI driven systems. And now in 2017, the company was able to discover and ban and block more than 3 lakhs tweets that were linked to terrorists and which were linked to hate speech, etc. So which means 95% of these hate speech and terrorism provoking speech tweets were being found by non-human, which is AI machines, artificial intelligent machines. This was built. How they have built, it's a very big story. What are the components they use? It's a very detailed study that we have to do. But here, Twitter has used very effectively the AI to fight hate speech and terrorism provoking languages. And likewise, Netflix. We all know Netflix. I'm sure. I'm sure nowadays it's becoming a matter of status to have more than one online streaming applications in our mobile phone. People like to have Amazon Prime. People want to have Netflix, Hotstar, etc. For the good or the bad reason, somehow or the other, the community is getting addicted to it. How could Netflix bring up that addiction? If you look at it, the people watching movies in the TV is slowly getting reduced. Slow is a very strong word. I should say drastically getting reduced. And the addiction towards online, the addiction towards solo application-based listening and watching is getting boosted up. Netflix has brought an addiction. How were they able to do that? If you look at it, around 12,000 subscribers are getting on a day-to-day basis. 12,000 subscribers are being added into the Netflix subscription, and on the overall in the rest of the world, 56,000 subscribers are being added on a day-to-day basis. If you can think about the volume that they are adding, it's too huge. Now Netflix taps this massive pool of viewer preference. You will go and view for the first time, right? You go and check out some English movies, you go and see some documentary movies, you go and check out some religious movies, you go and check out some sports related activities, and you go and see some news related activities. They get to learn what is the user preference. They know who you are, they know where you are born, they know what is your age, they know what kind of gender you belong to. With this information and with your preference, and with this preference from multiple people, from multiple millions and millions of viewers viewing on a day-to-day basis, with this massive pool of viewer preferences, they build the algorithm that can recommend them new viewing. This is a basic algorithm which they recommend, saying, since you watch this, can you watch this? But now, if you are not watching this, they get to know that this guy of this pattern doesn't like this, and this guy of this pattern likes this. Based on this recommendation and viewing preferences, they build a AI-driven algorithms and AI-driven machines which can figure out what the people will like the most. They now learned that what the people will view and enjoy the most, and because of that, because of everybody knows, you don't have to go and search and figure out what you wanted to listen or watch. They can give you what you wanted to watch. We call them in the world of professional world or in the technology world, we call them as recommendation systems, or kind of a hierarchical based recommendation systems, and few other recommendation systems which helps us. It's as simple, it's not as simple as what I said. It's a massive algorithm which has its own mathematics, logics, and various performance tunings and hyperparameter tuning behind the scene. But the point is, AI is helping us. No human or no manual operator sits behind and gives you the recommendations. It's an AI driven recommendations which you started loving, because of which you get addicted. Good or bad, I know, I'm sure our youths in this forum may not be so addicted to Netflix or social media. I'm sure they might be addicted to these kind of webinars where they could learn more and more about the technology and the advancements happening around, and how can they help the society better. Okay. Okay, this is another situation that I want to talk precisely here. Just walk out. What does it mean? What does it mean? Have you ever experienced a shopping experience? Have you ever felt a shopping experience where you get into a shop, you have to go and figure out where each thing resides. You have to take a bag that is being provided by the shopper. You have to take the bag, you have to choose the products that you want to choose, put them in the basket. Okay, your shopping is done, but yet you cannot come out. You cannot come out of the shop. Why? Because you have to stand in a line, you have to stand in a queue, You have to give every product that you have bought in front of the cashier, and cashier has to take them and he has to scan them and he has to figure out what is the price of each of the product and give you the bill, and then you have to pay. Amazon came up with a very innovative solution for this. We call it as Amazon Go. This was launched in 2018. This was fully driven by AI. From the moment you enter, from the moment you exit, there is no friction. The entire shopping experience is seamless. You enter into the shop, you take whatever you want, just that you need to have an Amazon Go app in your mobile phone. And when you enter, you just have to tap your mobile phone in the RFID or some of the ID that they kept. Just enter, choose whatever you want. You don't have to carry the shopper's bag. You can put it in your bag. The moment you take, your cards get added like this. You have already chosen a sparkling orange, chicken bunny, cheesecake cupcake, and anything else. And when you remove it from your bag and keep it in that position, the AI can figure out that you have kept it back into the. So it can remove and add and remove from the cart. Purely frictionless. Now that when your cart is added, you don't have to wait in the queues. No lines, no checkout, just walk out. Just walk out. The moment you walk out with the product, you will see in the app, this is your total. Would you like to pay? And it will automatically, cashierless shopping experience is provided to you and me. Wow. How beautiful, how good shopping experience is. We love to shop, but we don't want to stand in the queue. The Amazon, being the most customer centric, most world's customer centric organization in the world, they wanted to solve this problem. They solved it with the help of an AI. It is not just an AI, it is it's a beautiful integration of IoT, big data, AI, and algorithms, and a lot of things in the world. The cameras have been fitted across the shop, and the cameras can figure out who entered, what he is taking up, what purchase he is making, his movement, his activities. Everything is being learned, and then a decision is taken. So just walk out is an Amazon Go experience provided by Amazon, a cashierless shopping experience. Okay, if you look at it, how they did with the ceiling mounted sensors, cameras backed by artificial intelligence, Amazon is able to track every interaction a customer does with the product. It knows exactly when a product is picked up or when it is kept back. Go works like a physical manifestation. When a customer is going out of the store, they are charged for the haul via the Amazon Go. Seamless shopping experience. Can you guys guess this? What is this? What is this? Any guesses? No? Okay.
Participants can chat and give your responses.
Okay. 1 minute. Okay. Car assembly plant, water pipe connectivity for cooling systems. Okay, awesome, awesome. People have started giving some deliberate answers. Okay, cooling system. I think someone from hydraulic engineering or someone from electronic engineering have easily guessed it. Exactly, exactly. This is a cooling system, but this is a cooling system of a Google's massive data center. What is data center? A data center is a place where you keep your servers. You keep your massive servers where your all the big supercomputers, your hard disk, your networks, your processors are running and keep on running and running. This is not your data center. This is not a Google's data center. This is a cooling system which was designed to cool the data center of the Google. Okay, this is just a cooling system. If you look at it, this cooling system comes with a huge cost. You have to use a lot of coolants, you have to use a lot of techniques to go and cool the massive data center of Google. We know how much of data Google stores. We know how much of data Google processes. We know how much of data Google consumes on a day-to-day basis from the various platforms that they provide. They have Gmail, they have um, Google Docs, they have Google searches, they have Google Ads, they have various platforms and Android phones, of course, and Google Pay. You have so many platforms by which you push data to Google servers, and Google servers receives them, keeps them, process them, and does lot of decisions, lot of preferences, storage activities, various things. They do a lot of things which we can not imagine at this point of time. They might be running a lot of researches on the data that they have collected from us. Okay, keeping that conspiracies separate, coming back to the point, Google spends a huge amount of their budget, huge amount of their revenue in cooling their data centers, because if the data centers are heated up and if the data center gets burst out, it's going to have a it's going to bring in a kind of a unavailability of their systems, and it's really going to disturb the entire business. And a lot of people using Google for Gmail, for search, for their enterprise activities, they are going to find it very difficult. So to keep the data centers live, it has to be cooled. But then what Google did and how their AI systems, how their AI systems help them to bring down the cooling cost. Let's suppose if they are spending $10 million to cool their data center. This is an arbitrary number that I'm telling out of my own mouth. I don't know the numbers exactly, but Google used AI-driven systems to reduce that cost. In the US, Google used DeepMind machine learning in its US data centers to directly control the cooling system. This move has notably brought down 40% in the energy consumption. For the cooling systems, when they brought on, they figured out which system needs what kind of cooling. It can't be easily predicted. It can't be easily designed by a common system. Without an AI power, you can't design such a system, because their data centers are of different servers, of different sizes, of different performance, of different capabilities, of different structures, and different flow of data, and various things happen. So if you want to bring in that kind of a solution, you can't have a human to do such a big, and a human could do, or human could write program for that, but it is going to take 100 years for them to program. But if you give the same knowledge and same data to AI, AI could learn and form a network and can give you recommendations by which you can solve this. So using AI, Google drastically reduced 40% of their energy consumption. Not just the cost cutting, the other aspect of it is bringing green activities. Bringing a green activities which could save our nature. But the most important thing here is drastically reducing the harmful emissions and reducing the carbon footprint. A recent study and analysis done by PwC found that deploying AI across business operations for the data center cooling could eventually bring down 4% of the carbon print, 4% of the gas emissions that was being done by this organization. So if this is the entire, this is a one success story where Google used DeepMind, their inbuilt AI machine, which is an artificial intelligence machine, which helps them to control the cost. So which means AI helps to predict, AI helps to prevent hate speeches, AI helps to prevent terrorism kind of a terrorism provoking thoughts, AI helps to prevent reduce the cost, AI helps to go greener, AI helps to reduce gas emissions, AI helps to reduce seamless shopping, give us a seamless shopping experience, etc. And likewise, Schneider Electric, this is one of the electric electric devices company which have reduced their cost, and they have increased the worker risk using IoT and analytic solution based on Azure machine learning. Azure is from the Microsoft technology. So they used Azure machine learning and AI driven solution to figure out which parts of their equipment will get worn and torn, and how they can repair it before that it stops. There is always a cost in doing after it stops and before it stops. After it stops, you need to figure out why it stopped, where it stopped, what is the faulty part, and then you have to go and repair. But if you have a proactive solution by using these kind of analytical systems which can get the data at the real time from each and every parts of the machine, and then figure out which is going to get worn in the near future, you can go and repair it, so that you stop the production distractions, you stop the production disruptions overall. Okay, and likewise GE Aviation. GE Aviation uses the IoT and AI. The aircraft has so many parts in it. The aircraft has multiple fans, multiple sensors, multiple equipments, bigger, smaller, heavier, lighter. So many parts are associated in the aircraft. So in order to figure out and do a testing around this entire aircraft, it's going to take huge amount of time. So they built AI based system along with the IoT. So AI and IoT works together nowadays. With the invent of IoT and AI, and with the ability to transmit data from IoT to big data solutions and then to process via AI, is solving the entire world nowadays. And likewise, GE was able to solve, and they were able to analyze the health and efficiency of their aircraft and their components, and repair them or rectify them well in advance. Because aviation is one field where utmost security compliances are tried to meet. They try to meet all the security compliances. They try to make sure before taking off any flight, they have to ensure the safety of the each and every person sitting or having onboarded on the flight. So they make sure they use AI technologies to keep the aviation field running. And likewise, the AI has penetrated into the field of medicinal science, where it helps us to figure out which medicine will be the matching or be able to destroy the formation of the COVID-19 viruses, etc. This is one example where a genomics 6 lab is trying to use cloud-based high-performance computing platform with the power of AI to figure out which medicine can go and break the COVID. What kind of vaccines can do the treatment? Think about, let's take the same COVID-19 situation, why it's taking so much time with this so much invent of technology and being in the cutting edge at this era. That is 2020 is a cutting edge era. Being in the era of cutting edge and having so much of sophisticated systems with us, why we were not able to still figure out or bring out a successful vaccine is because to figure out that you need to do multiple combination testing. You have to figure out what is the structure and DNA of the COVID-19 or any other viruses for that matter. And then you have to figure out which combination will break this virus formation of the DNA of the particular virus. If you have to do that, you have to do multiple combinations. It's going to be n cross n, and here the n is around lakhs and millions. So if you have to do multiple combinations, permutation and combination, it's going to take 100 years for us to figure out. 100 years is a small number that I have mentioned. It's going to take too much of years for us to figure out one right combination. In order to solve this, we use powerful AI, and we use the power of AI to figure out which combination will work and which combination will not work. AI is not solving the entire problem of figuring out the vaccine. The AI is helping us to get nearer to which will help us to avoid or to eliminate the wastes and to get in directly into the real thing which is going to help us. So AI is basically speeding up the creation or invention or discovery of the vaccine for COVID-19. And Genomics 6 Labs is one such lab which is doing that. And this is yet another example where they are doing a lot of research on tumors, to predict the tumors, to diagnose the tumors at the very earlier stage with a very precise time. Where if you figure out the blood samples, if you take the tumor samples, you have to take a lot of images. And after taking images, you have to wait for a doctor, a medical doctor or a diagnosis to sit down and diagnose those images and tell what image looks different, how the image looks different from a normal art cell, and they have to figure out whether they have blood cell. In the recent report, In one of the recent report, it was said that only 73% of the diagnosis done by the medicalists are successful, whereas there are a lot of false positives and also there are a lot of false negatives, which means you told that the person has a cancer, but he did not have cancer. And you told them he did not have cancer, he had a cancer, which means only 73% is successful diagnosis, and all others are either false positive or false negative. So how can you get into the accuracy? How can we get into the speed? How can we get into very nearer to accuracy? We don't want 73, we want 99% of accuracy, where no one is being misinterpreted to having said that you do not have cancer, but they do have. It's a life risking problem. So to solve that, there are a lot of researches are happening, and AI is helping us to do that. Okay, having understood the power and various business domains that AI is helping us all about, how does AI works? What is that? What is that drives this entire AI world? So here, in God we trust, all others must bring data, which means any discussion, anything that happens, it should happen via data. The same is at the artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence wonders at past. It goes back all the past historical data. It reads through the entire historical evidences available in the world. Every nook and corner data you have to collect, whether it's in the books, whether it's in the records, whether it's in the floppy disk, you have to put in the entire data into the data lakes and tell artificial intelligence systems to go and read and understand and figure out what they are. So AI wonders at past. What is past? Past is nothing but a historical data. Here is a simple analogy for you to understand. Oil versus engine. If data is the new oil, AI is the new engine. Is that clear? If data is the new oil, AI is the new engine. There has been a lot of talks going around. Bigger companies like Google, Yahoo, Microsoft, Amazon, Facebook, Twitter, they have humongous amount of data with them. And those data is so much useful for them to give right advertisements, to give right suggestions to you in terms of anything that you want to do in your life. For that you pay, and for that you use, for that the advertisers pay to those companies to say that these are the advertisements that you want to give. So if data is the new oil, AI is the new engine. Oil is useless without engine, engine is useless and it can't run without oil. So data is useless if you don't have AI systems which can read the entire data faster, interpret the entire data faster, learn and get trained from the data. So here, if you look at it, half of the human, these data are gathered by human. By earlier research, by earlier practice, by earlier experimentations, you have gathered all the data. And the second half, when you give it to AI computer, it becomes a bot for you, which means it becomes a powerful machine which can solve and help you to do similar things at a faster pace. And I generally share this side. I know many people might be feeling it funny to say there is a marriage between big data and data science. What I mean to say is you cannot separate them. You cannot separate them. You can't say, I have a big data, but I don't have a data science or a AI system that I want to build. Or you can't say, I want to build data science and AI systems or machine learning systems to take business decisions, to help my customers, to figure out which of my customers are going to churn in the near future, or I want to have a system by which I want to help my customers do their work better. I want to recommend them good products. Yes, of course, you want to do all of this, but without big data, you can't do this, because you need huge, humongous amount of data to collect, to store, to process, and then apply AI and apply AI algorithms, ML algorithms, techniques on top of it, and now use those techniques to suggest to the customers, to predict who is going to churn, to predict what is going to happen, etc. So that's the reason big data and data science works together. These are some of the future and the present things that are happening in AI. Every search that you do behind the scene uses lot of AI. Even when you give your voice When you click on voice and when you talk, it does a AI conversion. It uses your language. It understands, recognizes your voices, translate into text and goes for searching. Your Amazon recommendations, the book recommendations, the movie recommendations, and all other that you get here are the basic the recommendation systems built on using the power of AI. Of course, one of the experimental thing that is happening even now, because it involves the safety of the passengers, so we haven't yet brought in a live vehicles which goes autonomously. However, there are a lot of researchers and a lot of experiments happening, and some of the vehicles are running around the labs of Google, Tesla, and Amazon is trying and testing their drones which can go autonomously without any control. They go and deliver the products. Google is testing out their Google cars, etc. And a lot of researchers are happening to make computers to learn. This is one example. The YouTube link is here. With the interest of time, I'm not playing this YouTube link, but it is available in the presentation. You guys could use it later. This is one company called Blue Dot, which predicted the spread of coronavirus. And they spread it well 2 weeks before, or 1 week, precisely 1 week before the WHO predicted it. WHO used traditional mechanisms to predict and figure out the outbursts. They have to deal with the diplomatics of each country and then figure out the data. Whereas the Blue Dot, with the power of AI, with the power of big data, having a huge big data system, having collected the journals from multiple places, what people are talking about, what is happening, what is trending in the Facebook, what is trending in Twitter, what is trending in Instagram, what people are talking in their chat, figuring out all the data, they figured out there is one thing that is slowly spreading. And then, having understood the travel history of people, having understood how frequent the flights travels around from one country to one country, they were able to figure out precisely and tell that how this outburst is going to be, how this pandemic is going to shape out, and at which point of time which country is going to be affected. They predicted it very precisely well before WHO did. Likewise, Kamran Khan, he did a similar research and he also presented his paper, and these are the worth use case studies which we can go and understand more how AI helps us saving our lives. Okay, another quick thing I want to cover: automatic drug discovery. This is very important and it's booming nowadays. A lot of researchers are happening to figure out, having given a problem, having given us chemical substances, to figure out the combination of, to figure out an automatic drug discovery, because discovering a drug is not an easy job. It involves so much of testing, it involves so much of experimentation. It can be done by human, but it is going to take 5 years, 10 years, 20 years down the line. But if you want to do it faster, we have to use the power of AI, which could do and help us. Artificial intelligence helping to save human lives. DeepMind folding AI is going after coronavirus, the same thing that I shared some time before, which predicted. Here, this is another company which is trying to figure out what combination of DNA can break the coronavirus DNA construction. AI uncovers a potential treatment for COVID-19 patients. TCS uses AI for drug discovery. 5 companies using AI to fight coronavirus. So if you look at it nowadays, the trend is more of AI is trying to penetrate all the fields, and very precisely in the fields which are going to save and protect the humans. These are the links to that. Computers can see and understand. We saw one such example, the Amazon Go, and when you walk through each and every citizen of the country, and based on his facial recognition, even in India we have Aadhaar system, but now we don't have a sophisticated AI system which can figure out by looking at your face immediately your entire biography. But here, in some of the countries, they have implemented cameras to figure out how the movement of their citizens are happening and to keep them on track. And we saw that Amazon Go, what do you say, no line and no checkout and seamless cashierless experience, you go and get it. So how is it possible? Computers can see. Computers can listen and respond to. there is one app, a doctor bot, ADA. It's one of the famous app in the US and other countries where people have installed them in their mobile, and it's a AI driven app. It was designed after having a research with hundreds of doctors together and computer scientists sitting together and understanding the different symptoms, the different questions, and the analogy and the hierarchy between one question and another question to be asked by a doctor. And they built this app. This app tries to replicate, this app tries to replace a primary doctor. It doesn't replace any specialist. It tries to replace a primary or a poly doctor whom you will generally go and visit and say, hey doctor, I have a fever. And then the next question is, do you have a running nose? And then from how long you have been having. If you use this app, you will get to understand how intuitive and how good experience it is providing you to solve some of the common problems that are needed for the human. And this app recognizes this app, sorry. Okay, this app recognizes what you are talking, what you are typing, and it tries to bring out the answers accordingly based on the historical learning that it has learned. Okay, this is a general thing. We all know there is a huge demand for AI engineers and data scientists in the recent past. If you can see that it is drastically increasing, and in the recent era, it is keep on increasing because of the demand and supply. The demand is high and the supply of data scientists is still low. The supply of machine learning engineer and data scientists is still low. In US, still the 59% of the data science jobs are yet unfilled. And there is a shortage of so many data scientists, which means this is one such area where we can easily tap, land, and quickly land into a job. How the future looks. Just one comment, and I would like to stop in next few minutes. Just look at this slide. This is a research done by WHO along with the World Bank, Africa Health Workforce Observatory, and a group of social organizations together. They did this research in Nigeria and a few other emerging economic countries, and they figured out that for sure in 2030, which means in next 10 years, there is going to be a shortage of 7 lakh additional doctors in Nigeria alone. This is based on the population, based on the density of current doctors, the level of diseases and things happening, and etc. This is a graph that shows that it is going to increase in the next 10 years in 12 folds, which means there is going to be a shortage of 7 lakh doctors in Nigeria alone. Now, what will be the consequence if they do not have 7 lakh basic doctors to treat the people of Nigeria? What kind of economic and social conditions that the people of that country will encounter? They will not have a good medical facilities. But if you want to build 7 lakh additional doctors, the cost that it is going to take is at the right side. It is going to approximately take 51 billion, which is equaling to 20% of their GDP and 10% of their entire public health expenditure. 10 times their, which means it is not affordable, which means it can't be afforded to have 7 lakh additional doctors in 2030. And of course, even if they have the money, they have the capacity in terms of wealth to do that, it is going to take 300 years to accomplish that. So how are we going to tap this? This is where AI is going to help. This is where AI will try to be an additional supervised doctor. They will not be exactly like a doctor, but they will be assisting a lot of doctors in doing their job faster, which means a doctor who used to visit 10 patients per day can now visit 100 patients per day with the same amount of time by having additional eyes, having additional ears, having additional diagnostic systems, having additional data or drug recovery systems, etc. I hope you guys are getting into the exact crux what I'm trying to say. AI is a boon and it is going to help us to live our lives better. Okay, I'm quickly going to skip this because it's something very deeper. I want to cover this one last slide. How is the future? There is all in any seminars I go or in any webinars I go and take. Usually there used to be one question which says, "Is AI really going to take away my job?" Okay, it's a very contemplating question. We really need to contemplate at this point, since we are coming at the end of our session. At the end of the AI session, I want to highlight that yes, of course, AI is designed to take away a lot of jobs. But what kind of jobs they are? Jobs that are going to involve a repetitive thing. Jobs that are going to do only a pattern recognition. Jobs that are very simple, jobs that are mundane, jobs that are repeatable, jobs that are automatable. They are going to be replaced. They are going to be replaced by AI. For example, if you are going to, for example, if you used to have a translator along with you as a personal translator in any country you visit, for sure in next 2 years you will not need such a translator, because already a lot of apps, lot of tools are there which can learn, which can understand in the language you are speaking, which can translate and speak like you in the other language, an AI powered system. So if you're going to do something which is automatable, repeatable, that is going to be wiped off. However, jobs that are going to involve a leadership, a creativity, risk taking, and novel situations, taking and attacking the novel situations, seeing some new problems and solving them, analysis, imagination, telling a joke, being more human, being more a different human. If you are indifferent, you will be wiped out. But if you are a different, and if you have very different ways of solving a problem, if you have creativity, innovation, analysis mind, and you are doing an imagination way of scripting, writing, etc., those kind of jobs cannot be replaced by AI, because AI, for that, it is going to take huge amount of time for AI to learn and become such a master in all of these fields. Okay, is there any other way to tackle it? Yes, of course. The other way is, you could pursue AI, you could learn AI and become a specialist, or become a prominent engineer in AI, or you can become a scientist in AI. There are multiple level of profiles. Not everyone becomes a scientist after they become an AI, after they become an AI engineer, or etc. But they can figure out a job, or they can solve a problem and make it as a product and sell it to customers. They can build a lot of solutions, apps, analytics, using AI to support their customers. What it means, though AI is going to snatch jobs, it is going to also open a lot of new opportunities. Though AI is going to wipe out mundane, repeatable, automatable tasks, it is going to open up a lot of new ways of solving problems, new arenas which the world is waiting for someone to come and solve. So how can I pursue AI? If you are a student, if you are a professional, if you have a good amount of knowledge already, you can skip this. But however, for the newbies, if you want to pursue AI, you need to be strong in mathematics, you need to know the big data world, you need to learn any one good programming, precisely Python, because that is where lot of open source libraries are available in Python which you can use. You can do all of this with using your small systems, but when you take it to a bigger products, like real customer problems, you need cloud solutions, or you need supercomputers. However, if you want to perceive, these are the things that you should be learning. You should learn mathematics, you should learn big data, you should know Python and some libraries related to AI, and you should learn data science, which means how to pull the data, how to cleanse the data, how to structure the data, which algorithm to call, which algorithm to use, how to parameter it, how to hyperparameter tune it, etc. Okay. This is nothing. Why AI was not easy earlier? Why it is easy now for even for a common person? Because is the first era was full of highly licensed softwares which you have to buy, install, and use it. The second era is full of licensed software in the SaaS platform, which you have to subscribe and get a license, a rental model. And the third era is full of open source. You have all the tools which are open source for you to build a small AI system. You can do it with all open source. With few cloud platforms using Python or R with Hadoop and few other things, you could build a AI system very well. But it can't be productionized. You can do a research, you can do POCs. By the era 3, we have democratized AI to everyone. We have made it easy for any person to learn, pursue, use it, and build cool and useful products for the world and for the human race. Okay, I just want to skip this because Python, I think you guys would have already heard about Python and etc. And that's the end of my presentation. I'm opening it up for questions.
Jazakallah khair, Brother Bashir. We will quickly share a screen for the participants to log in and then give their feedback on today's session. So I'm sharing a screen now for you. Please go to www.menti.com and use the code 2790682. And start sharing your feedback about today's session. So we'll have it on the screen so that you can have a look at it. I would participants, please take your time. Go to www.menti.com and use the code 2790682, and you can key in your feedback there. It will help us to improve the kind of content we deliver, and also encourage trainers who take their time out to give qualitative content as a service for the community. Okay, mashallah, we're getting a lot of feedback, alhamdulillah. Okay, mashallah, good one. Little more practice or some workshop to get the taste of AI would be highly appreciated. Great session. Every young buddies should nurture this learning and bring in values to the community. Very valuable and interesting feedback. Jazakallah khair for all the organizers. Mashallah, informative content. Learned a lot. It's an exciting IT career. Very good. Alhamdulillah. Good to know. It is a very nice. It is. Thanks for the explanation of AI. Thanks for the session. Great session. Excellent knowledge sharing. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless you with the best of ajr. Ameen. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless all of the learners here with more and more of the ajr in both words. Ameen. And jazakumullah khair. Now we request Brother Saab to start off with the Kahoot quiz quickly, and we have less than 5-6 minutes to complete the quiz.
Assalamu alaikum. Everyone, please join. The game pin is 9781175, as you can see on the screen. Please visit kahoot.it or download the Kahoot app and be ready. Please be quick in joining. I need at least 25 students to start the quiz. Come on, be quick. 9781175. Sister Nazia Fatima, she's regular every week, mashallah. Khalid, Afra, Maria, Ismail, Yasmin, Faiza, Yunus. Okay, be quick. A few more people. We have 46 people on Zoom. Maz is back again. Inshallah, he'll win this time. He's been trying for like a long time now.
I also would like to make a mention. It is for school students only. So I request people to give more priority to school students.
Okay, we have 16 people. Be quick. Another 5 people, please. Okay, we'll start in like 10 seconds, inshallah. 10, 9, one more person, 8, 7, 6, 5. We have few chat here. Okay. Okay, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so the artificial intelligence quiz. The first question is, the intelligence displayed by humans and other animals is termed as constants, cognitive intelligence, natural intelligence, ability. Be quick in answering. You have 10 seconds to answer. I'll skip in 5, 4, 3, 2, another 2 people. The key here for Kahoot is you have to be quick in answering and the right answer, so you get more points. Okay, so we have a smart topping and okay, so on and so forth. We'll finish this off quickly because we have another meeting starting in 5 minutes. Which of this is a field that is closely related to artificial intelligence? Physics, neuroscience, maths and computer science. Be quick in answering, very easy answer. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and okay, very good. From Maria has climbed up. Mars is there and Khalid. Okay. Any device that perceives its environment and takes actions that maximize its chance of success at some goal is termed as input, processor, intelligent agent, data. Be quick in answering and please answer the right answer. You have to be quick and you have to be right to get more points. So you top on the screen. We'll skip in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and skip. Okay, Afra Maria is maintaining her. Okay, very good. Maz has climbed to the top. Maz is a computer science student. In which year was artificial intelligence founded as an academic discipline? 1990, 2010, 1956, 1909. Very easy answer. It's fairly new. A clue. Okay, we'll skip in 3, 2, 1, and okay. Mars is still maintaining. Mars has gone way beyond 5 of 10. AI won't be in action without these evolutions in the technology world. Cloud, big data, and machine learning, IoT, microservice, or DevOps, Python, Java, and Google Cloud, Python, and DevOps won't be in action. Please read carefully. Won't be in action without these evolutions. So, what is AI dependent on? Okay, we'll skip in 3, 2. Okay, very good. Cloud, big data, and machine learning is the right answer. Most of you have got it wrong. Mars is still maintaining. Afra Maria is maintaining, but there is a huge gap. Afra Maria, you have to answer quick and be right to topple up Mars and take up his position. Which of these tools is used at the crux of artificial intelligence? Neural networks, design, IoT, or cloud. Be quick. We have 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and okay. Neural networks. Most of you have got it wrong. Maz, are you maintaining your position or not? Okay, Maz and Aframeri are maintaining. Khalid, Faizan, Ismail are new. Okay, so those two positions are like fixed. Twitter used AI effectively to identify and block fake users, false claims, hate speeches, and terroristic language, fake reports. We find this almost daily in news nowadays. What are they trying to block? 3, 2, 1, and skip. Hate speech and terroristic languages. Very good. Maz and Afram Khalid is also maintaining his position now. Muhammad Abbas and Nabila are new in the league. The study of computer algorithms that improve automatically through experience is termed as machine learning, compilation, cognitive learning, processing. Very, very easy answer. Be quick in answering. I'm giving you another 3, 2, 1, and very good. Mas, Muhammad Abbas, Khalid, and Faiza have interchanged. One of you has gone down. Second last question. In future, AI will eventually take over these jobs from humans, except this: diagnosis, cancer, tumors, translations, repeatable and mundane tasks, all of the above. Which task will AI take over? Very, very easy answer. I'm skipping in 3, 2, 1, and skip. Okay, very good. Oh, Afra Mary has come down third. I think she has taken a little bit of time to answer. Okay, anyway, we have one more question. Double points for this question. These are fundamental subjects to learn if one has to start his career. This is a game changer question. Please be quick and answer the right, and you will, even if you're down like 10 points, you will go up because you're getting double points. Physics and neuroscience, maths, data science, and Python programming, cloud technologies, Java and JavaScript. I'm skipping in 3, 2, 1, and skip. Very good. I think Maz is going to be the Afra Maria is on third. Oh, she was holding a position on second for a very long time. Muhammad Abbas has come. Where is the other guy? Who was there? Maz. Okay. Faiza and Ismail, all five of you, please message me with your name, email, phone number, rank in the group. Okay. Jazakumullah khair. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Nizar bhai, over to you.
Jazakumullah khair, Murad. Quickly to take you to the Q&A session. We will not have so much time, so I would right now share a screen with you where we will have maximum of 5 minutes.
Nizar bhai, we can take you in the group.
Yeah. I'm doing that.
Yes.
Yeah, to join similar course with Brother Bashir Ahmed, please join the WhatsApp group below. Maybe you can also
share
the chat window.
You can share this
I'm
in the
sharing.
digital literacy group, bhai.
Okay, hold on. Okay, people can click on it and also access the channel. Unfortunately, we will not have Q&A session today. It's because of an immediate requirement for getting connected to another session. However, all your questions will be addressed through this link. Make sure you join this group where you also join similar courses related to AI from Brother Bashir Ahmed. And if you have any questions regarding today's session, we will be able to help you in clarifying doubts. And we once again thank you all for having participated in the session and making it a wonderful session today. We once again thank Brother Bashir Ahmed for his beautiful speech for his intent that he has delivered. It has been very provoking and interesting and altogether. Jazakumullah khair, everyone. Remember to click on the link and join the group. Bare minimum benefit that you would get is your questions will be answered. The higher questions and more of courses details are there. You can very well join many other courses related to AI. Thank you so much, and